I'm 27, and my mom died of small cell lung cancer when I was 21. She was 53 years old when she died, and she got her wish in a couple of ways. She wanted it to be just me and my stepfather in the room when she died. She got that wish. And she wanted to be cremated. She also got that wish. Basically, the only people there at her cremation were me, my stepdad, and my dad. And, of course, the guy who runs the cremation. The ones to spread her ashes into a local river were me and my stepdad. I made a really terrible joke, probably, because the wind blew and some of the ashes went in my eye, and I said, I've got my mom in my eye. I don't know. I make jokes when it's a sad or depressing situation, usually. And they turn out inappropriate, probably, but it's my way of dealing. And it was my way of dealing with my mom's death, so. Basically, it's been 6 years, and since then, I've gone to college for what she pretty much always knew I was going to be doing, which is audio-video production work, you know, making movies, something behind a camera. I've graduated that successfully with honors. I got magna cum laude. She would be very proud of me. I was student of the year. I've gotten married. I've gotten my own house. And she wasn't there for any of it. And I wish she could have been there for every single second of it. And though I believe in heaven and I believe in spiritual planes, whatever, it would have been a lot better if she was there in the flesh. That's what I wanted. Even though I know she was there in spirit, that didn't mean enough for me. It really didn't. And because of smoking, she got small cell lung cancer, and she died from it. I wasn't really realistically thinking when she got it, because I thought, well, okay, fine, she can quit smoking and hopefully regain a few months, if not a year, maybe even get strong enough to battle it and get it over with it, and live through it, right? You know, and they said, well, sure, why not, yeah. So she quit smoking for 6 months and then went right back to it, but when she went to hospice, she pretty much had to quit smoking because they didn't have smoking in the facility. You had to go outside, and she was afraid of the Hoyer lift, probably, and she didn't have her own chair anyway. And by the time she did get her own chair, she was still afraid of the Hoyer lift, so she never got up. But once, when I was there, and that was to remarry my stepdad for health insurance purposes. So she was covered. Because they pretty much had to fire her from work because they knew she couldn't come back, and they couldn't just keep her on disability, because I don't think they would have accepted it, since they knew that she was in a dire situation in hospice. When you're in hospice, you're not getting better. That means you're slowly dying. You're actively dying, and you're not going to get any better. I was there holding her hand when she died, and even though I know she wasn't in any pain because she was on medication that, for one, took away the pain, and two, just put her out like a light, it was really hard seeing her like that. I mean, I'd never seen anyone like that before. I'm a nurse aide now, but I wasn't at that time. I worked in a store. I had never been there when someone died, so it was really, really shock. So it was really a big shock for someone of my age, of, you know, my work history, my life history, to be there when, and be touching the person when they died. I mean, I've always had an unrealistic fear of dead bodies, so I'm sitting here holding her hand when she died, and it wasn't what I thought it would be at all. So, I mean, also since then, my mom had given me a lot of money from her insurance, so I was able to buy a new computer and the video camera I'm taping this on now. Things like that, you know, just little things, and PlayStation 2, and that was about it, really. If I really wanted to be selfish, I could have gotten myself a upright piano like I've always wanted, but I didn't. But later on, the car that she gave to me through her will was going kaput completely. So I got myself a new car, my own first actual car that I bought myself that I wanted. And I wish I could have been there for that too, but... And to think of all the things that she missed in the flesh, at least. I mean, yeah, I'd like to know if there was a heaven or hell. I'd like to think that she was in heaven. I'd like to think, yeah, she saw all of it, but I wanted her there in the flesh, and to think that she was only 53 when she died is really, it's not right. Someone should not be dying at 53 of anything. I mean, that's just, it's too young. I mean, she had a whole life ahead of her. We had goals and dreams in mind, and it never happened. There's not one day that goes by that I don't think about my mom, much less everything that I've accomplished that she hasn't been able to be there to see. And I really wish that the tobacco companies didn't have to put all that junk in cigarettes. I mean, I've heard of these new cigarettes that they have that are like so green, and it's just tobacco. It's a little bit of nicotine, but they don't have all those other chemicals in it. I mean, there are tons of chemicals, including, I mean, fiberglass, tar. Do you really need fiberglass in tobacco, in cigarettes? I mean, really, come on, you don't. I know you don't. That's just, it's almost like torture. The only thing I really have of my mom to remember her funeral by, which it wasn't really, is this. Apparently they put it in the casket, or box, cardboard box really, with the persons, that way when they're burned, they have a number to actually link them to, so they know who it was, so they don't lose track and you're not carrying around the ashes of someone else. So my stepdad let me have it. There's a little circle on it, a little hole. If I wanted to, I could just go around wearing it. I usually keep this in my car. That way she's always with me, watching over me, kind of like a guardian angel.